To suspend the rules and pass H.R. 1417.
The clerk will report the title of the bill.
Union Calendar number 411, H.R. 1417, a bill to amend the National Law Enforcement Museum Act to allow the museum to acquire, receive, possess, collect, ship, transport, import, and display firearms and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Utah, Mr. Bishop, and the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Soto, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Utah.
I again ask unanimous consent to that all members may have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material on the bill under consideration.
Without objection.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Speaker, also, if he has been able to catch his breath, having cut this as close as is possible, I would like to yield as much time as he may consume to the gentleman from Alaska, the Dean of Congress, Mr. Young, for explanation of his bill.
The gentleman from Alaska is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's sort of like the ice breaking up. Right on the pin of the point, you actually win, and I thank you for waiting for me a little bit. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, H.R. 1417 is a simple, straightforward bill that will treat the National Law Enforcement Museum as if it were a federal museum for the purposes of obtaining, transferring, and displaying certain classes of firearms. The National Law Enforcement Museum is scheduled to open this fall. The museum was authorized by an act of Congress and being built on federal property. The museum is dedicated to telling the story of American law enforcement by providing visitors a walk in the shoes of experience. The museum is working to expand and enrich the relationship shared by law enforcement and the community through the museum's educational journeys, immersion exhibitions, and insightful programs. The National Law Enforcement Museum was created to provide visitors an opportunity to walk in the shoes of law enforcement, giving them the behind-the-scenes look and allowing them to gain historical perspective on how law enforcement has helped shape our society and culture. Though fun, immersion, and education prohibits, such as the Take the Case 911 emergency ops and the training simulator, visitors will gain a sense of what it takes to be law enforcement professionals. These interactive experiences will give the visitors a first-hand look into almost every facet of law enforcement, while they learn about the day-to-day complexities of safeguarding our communities. Visitors will also be able to experience the personal side of law enforcement through the real-life stories of the men and women behind the badge, told throughout the museum, and to gain a great appreciation of those who have, in fact, sacrificed to take and keep peace within our communities. This is a great hall of remembrance for those that keep our peace, our law enforcement officers. Mr. Speaker, may I say that a lot of time in the modern day media, I hear the term cop. I hear the term somebody's wrong, and I deeply respect our law enforcement officers and what they face every day, especially with the national media and the pressure they have, constantly exposing them as the bad guys. And I really believe if we didn't have them, we'd really be in trouble. So this is a simple bill, takes care of a problem, and I hope we can pass it unanimously, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Florida is recognized.